how is kink associated with trauma transformation? I'm here with Samantha Manewitz from BeyondSafeWords.com, and I'm Kathy Bartulli from TheIntimacyDojo.com. And Samantha, you're talking at this year's Woodhull Sexual Freedom Summit on kink and trauma transformation.
Well, of course.
How can kink actually be used for trauma transformation? How are they linked in any way?
Well, it's sort of not necessarily a matter of linked. So my background is in PTSD and also BDSM.
Uh-huh.
And the reason why I'm putting this talk together is there are a lot of folks who either have trauma histories, who are in the kink community, or have even found healing and transformation using BDSM. And there's a huge amount of taboo and stigma around it.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of folks who will judge people who choose to use BDSM as part of their trauma work. So
that's too bad, because re-experiencing it with safe words and the ability to control it is, I work with trauma survivors as well. Just doing that is a huge avenue for healing if that feels right to that person.
Yeah, well, part of what my talk is, and the reason why I am presenting it, is because I take the kind of bare bones structure of any sort of evidence-based trauma work, and I show how, in the right context and given the right containers, the way that BDSM is structured, it can actually be used to mimic the mechanisms of evidence-based trauma work. Yeah. Well, the way that I look at it is trauma work is all about the empowerment of the survivor. Mm-hmm. The whole point is to give them their agency back, because that's part of what that trauma is like some control was taken away from you. And so in my talk, I quote Judith Herman, who wrote Trauma and Recovery, which is one of the seminal pieces on trauma work. And one of the things she says very clearly is the survivor must be the author and arbiter of their experience.
Yes.
And that when you start telling other people how they need to heal and how they should heal, you may actually be re-victimizing and doing more harm than good. I can't tell you how many times I've heard dominants come to me and say, this submissive came to me and they want to do a trauma healing scene, and I don't know if this is the right choice for them. I don't know if they should be doing this. And my response to them is that they're asking the wrong question. Because if they've come to you with this request, they've already made their choice.
Yeah, that's true.
It is not your choice. Their choices aren't on you. What you're actually asking is, am I comfortable facilitating that work?
Holding that kind of space.
And what if I'm not comfortable, are there things that need to be in place or that I need to know so that I'm comfortable doing that work? And if not, yes, you're clear, don't do it. But don't tell other people how to own their trauma.
Right.
And caveat, I am not saying that this is a replacement for therapy with an evidence, with a trauma-informed clinician.
Yeah. Why is Woodhull? Why did you choose Woodhull as your venue for sharing this?
I love the Woodhull event. I've been 2 years now. The first year I presented. It is one of the better events that really does a good job of balancing community and professional and educator and therapist and sort of academic with playful and less academic in a way that you don't really see, and that's very, very rare.
Yeah.
And I think that I have really come to value that space. I couldn't go. I was very sad. So it really is an honor and a privilege to be a presenter at Woodhull.
And I heard competition was really tough this year, so congratulations.
I'm among an illustrious group.
Yes.
Which doesn't kick up my imposter syndrome at all.
No, not at all. So Samantha, if someone wanted to explore this more for themselves or for a friend that they might want to help through this, where can they go get some advice or some best questions to talk about?
My website is Beyond Safe Words. This is something that I write about. I know, is Ida Mandalay presenting this year?
Yes, they are.
Because they're frickin' badass, and they do a lot of writing on that, and their work is phenomenal.
Yep, they're talking about no daddies, no masters, DS, and power play.
Yeah, but they also do a lot of great work on trauma and trauma healing and transformative justice work.
Wonderful.
There's so many other folks in our community that do very cool work and deal with it from other angles.
Yeah.
In terms of specifically kink and trauma, unfortunately, there really isn't much.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of finding people who you trust to share that with. If it is through shamanic work or through a therapist who is kink aware / kink knowledgeable.
Well, Samantha, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're on the road, and
it's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Always happy to talk.
If you're watching this and you have questions or comments, please leave them below. We'll do our best to get back to you.
All right. Thank you so much.